Hello faithful viewers and welcome back to another review. And hang on a second, haven't we done this guy before? No, hang on, don't go anywhere, stop. From the outset, this may look like the Last Night Megatron, the Voyager that we've already covered. It's not, it's a knockoff version. Yeah, I'm kind of cheating out by doing this figure again, sort of. This is Defamation Toys Black Mamba, and he is a KO version of the Last Night Megatron. This mold gets 2 reviews, I suppose. So Black Mamba, let's take a look. Obviously, he shares the basic mold with the official version of Megatron. He, colour-wise, very slightly different. Obviously, the jet mode is identical, but there are some noticeable colour differences. Number 1, the plastic is a lighter grey, I want to say. It's kind of got like a bluish-green kind of hue to it. A bit more oceanic, for lack of a better term, I suppose. Whether this is more accurate to the film or not, I kind of want to say not. I think the official version is slightly more accurate, but this is supposedly slightly more vibrant, as if the saturation levels have been heightened on this guy. So you've got the lighter colour overall. You've got the gold accents are definitely more pronounced this time. They are kind of more of a bronze, especially in the jet mode. And then coming to the cockpit, I think the official version from memory has a red cockpit. This is a translucent orange. Just having a look in it though, I don't think there's any detailing of seating of any kind, but then again, this is just Voyager scale, so we won't go to the detail. It is, again, a 1-to-1 knockoff, and it is a surprisingly solid knockoff, all things considered. A big thing about KO figures is questionable plastic quality. Well, this guy, he actually doesn't feel that different to your standard Last Night Voyager. That's very interesting how I've managed to pull that off. So as I said, it's the same basic jet mode, you know, nothing really different. You've got some blue highlighted thrusters there. You've got the same weapon storage. This tabs in a lot more securely than the actual official version, which is bizarre. And yeah, coming to the underside, reversible head, you know, the legs are on the underside of the wings and the arms are tucked away there. It's not absolutely obvious, but, you know, you can't fault this mould too much because it is a fabulous mould. So transformation, it is precisely the same as the official version. So what you want to begin doing is taking the thrusters and unclipping them from the tops there, fanning them out and rotating them back on themselves. And you're creating the skirt piece of the figure by doing that. Then come to the wings and just flare them out for the sake of clearance. Come to the underside, detach the front skirts from the wrists, and then lever all of this up and out of the way, again for clearance. We're going to return to the wings and just bring them down and then rotate them at the upper leg. This one is slightly loose compared to this one, but that's a knockoff thing for you, isn't it? Then detach the feet from the underside of the wings. Let's just guarantee that we're in focus before we do that. So just push down on the wings ever so gently and push up on the feet just to edge them out, and then rotate them at the shins like that. Then you can flatten the feet, and then you can wrap the wings around the lower leg. And I remember in my original review of this mold, I did compliment that. I still compliment that. It's a very nice way of folding the wings and getting them out and about somewhere else that isn't the back. You are reducing kibble by doing this. Very good. So same thing on the other side, just clipping that in like that, and then you can fold down all the skirt pieces around his waist area, just like so. Continuing to look at the upper part of the figure here, we're going to turn our attention to the backpack. We are going to separate the arms and roll everything out as we did before, making sure that these flaps are open like that, and they are just going to wrap around the torso of the figure and plug in nice and securely. Again, wonderful engineering. Roll out the fusion cannon, then get your nails in and try and pull out the fists as best you can. It is quite a snug fit, so it helps if you've got long nails, and if you don't have long nails, then use something thin and pointy and you should be able to get these fists out. And you can see that I'm having a little bit of trouble with this. Must be a relatively stiff pin joint in here. Roll out the fusion cannon, flip the barrel down like that, and then bring the nose cone down, slap it on the back, rotate the head round, and there you go. There you have your Black Mamba Defamation Megatron knockoff, fully transformed. in, once again, a gorgeous looking robot mode. And I have praised this mold to the heavens so many times. It is a beauty and a far cry better than the leader class version of Megatron that came out in the Last Night toy line. So as you would expect, as this is a one-to-one knockoff, there isn't a great deal of difference when it comes to the official version. The main difference being the paint job. As I said, it has this lighter grey kind of metallic oceanic kind of blue hue to it. It's interesting, and it does help keep it apart from the official release. If we zoom in and try and get detail on that head, again, it's the same mold as the official version, so you don't unfortunately have the faceplate that you can conjure. A little bit of a shame, but you do have a bit more of a vibrant red highlight on the crest of his head, and I suppose the eyes as well are a bit more illuminated. There's still no light piping, which is a bit of a shame, but you know, it pops a lot more, is the point I'm trying to make. You've got this bronzish gold going along the body. I suppose one advantage this guy has is it's kind of more metallic. I suppose the official version is kind of more like a soft mustard yellow in comparison. So you could make the very valid argument that the paint apps on this knockoff are superior to the official release. But apart from that, there aren't any other major differences. So we'll cover articulation as before. It is exactly the same. You know, you've got your 360 head. I will say, as this is a knockoff, the quality control of some specific areas is a bit more questionable. I did say earlier that the general feel of this guy is, you know, comparable to the official version, and I stand by that for the most part. You lift this guy up, you throw him about, and he still feels remarkably solid. But this head is incredibly loose. You can see there is a screw in the back of the head there, but he is also on a ball joint, so I don't know where the connection issue specifically is, but this is concerningly loose. Concerningly. I suppose because of how loose it is, it does afford a little bit more articulation, so he can look up, you know, that far, but he can't really look down. At the shoulders, you've got 360 rotation like that. He can fan his arms out that far thanks to this movable panel here. He has an over 90-degree elbow bend. He has he technically has 360 rotation there at the upper arm as well, but you know, the fusion cannon does hinder it, so you could probably pull it off with the other arm. And then at the wrist, you have a bit of in and out due to the transformation hinge. You still, unfortunately, do not have waist articulation. That's the major gripe about this figure, really. You know, for all of the clean backpack he has, they had to sacrifice something. You've got the skirt pieces, which are articulated, so they can accommodate the leg articulation. And speaking of leg articulation, impressive forward kick. Back kick, unfortunately, it does ram into like this skeletal piece here, the main frame of the jet mode. So that's, you know, it can't be helped. You have upper leg rotation of 360 degrees. You have roughly a 90-degree bend, which you can go slightly over with that as well. You have the shins can go forward and back. Again, it's a transformation thing, but whoop-de-doo. And then you have ankle pivot as well. So he is able to pull off a load of dynamic poses. Articulation is very, very good. We're turning our attention to his weapon of choice. As before, it is like this sword axe hybrid thing, and it is the same colour as the figure, so this metallic oceanic kind of bluey grey thing with the bronze trim going up the centre of the weapon. And just as the official version, he can hold it in either hand, and he can also store it on his back. Now, I will say, this is where the official version actually does outshine this knockoff. The back connection is more secure and easier to get it into on the official version than it is for knockoff. For this, you really, really, really have to push. It is so tight. But once you get it in, it is so secure. But the point being, of the official version, it's easier to get it in there. So yeah, weapon storage, fabulous. I will just, while I'm thinking about it, point out another QC issue. I said how the head is very loose. This nose cone is also concerningly loose. Now, to its credit, the official version is remarkably stiff to a point that you think you might break it if you're not careful. So It would be great if I would come across a version of this figure that had the best of both worlds, because my experiences of it are either it's too tight or it's too loose, like this guy. For size comparison, using the figures I've got on hand while I'm on holiday here, this is Beast Wars Cheetor, Beast Wars Quick Strike, and Universe Cyclonus. That's our look at the Black Mamba Deformation Toys knockoff 4th party Last Night Megatron. My blimey, that is a mouthful of a sentence to say. As knockoffs go, this is very, very good. You know, my experience of the knockoffs at this point are ranging primarily of Optimus Prime, so this is the first Megatron I've had a chance to play with. If you cannot afford to get the actual Last Night release of the Voyager class Megatron, which I have praised to the heavens and back, this is a very good substitute. Yeah, there's a couple of QC issues here and there with the head and the nose cone, but other than that, the quality of the plastic of this figure is almost identical to that of the official release, and to some regards this actually does have a better paint scheme. It just depends on your personal preference if you prefer that of the official release or if you prefer this more metallic premium finish that this KO is going off. Personally, I tend to sway more in favour of the official release, but I acknowledge how good this guy looks. So by all means, seek this guy out. Seek any version of the mold out that you can get, and if you just can't happen to afford the official one, because I know how pricey Hasbro figures are nowadays, then by all means source this guy, because he in many respects is just as good. So there you go. Thank you everybody so much for stopping by and checking out this video. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share it around to help out the channel. And until the next time, see you all later.